Hi everybody! In this tutorial we are going to learn useful tips for modifying wall positions in Revit. You will see how to move walls accurately by editing the temporary dimensions, how to split walls correctly, and other helpful techniques. So we can start. So, we have this example here, but the walls don't match the distances we have in the floor plan. Basically, we have to move them to the correct positions. Let's start from the top, at the left side, and select this wall. Now look, these temporary dimensions show up on the screen. Their purpose is to indicate the distance to the nearest intersections, in case I need to move the wall to the sides. Here, this length has to be 3700 mm, and I simply click on it to edit the value. Just this, easy. Then, the next dimension also changes as the wall moved to the right. But, if I try to set the correct length right now, you will notice that the wall moved again, and the first dimension line is no longer 3700. So I'll push Ctrl Z to go back. The length is again 3700. And basically, to edit the second length, I have to move the next wall. Click on it and edit as I did previously. Then this wall is 2175 mm. And if everything is correct, this length should be now 3 meters. If not, it's because you probably did something wrong before, and in that case, you have to go back and check all the walls again. Now let's pick up this horizontal length. And this time, the temporary dimensions are vertical. Why is that? If you select the wall and try to drag it, click and hold and move, we can only displace it in a way that we won't deform the structure, in this case up or down. Because if you try to move it in the same direction, Revit don't let you, because it's constrained with the vertical walls. That's why if a wall is vertical, we move to the left or to the right. However, if a wall is isolated, it has no constraints, you may have temporary dimensions along the same direction. Back in our drawing, I'm going to edit this dimension to 3575. And for this wall, I need something different. The length of this temporary dimension is measured by two different points if we compare with the PDF file. But this is simple to solve. I can click on this grip at the baseline and drag it to the other wall face. Release now the button because it's snapping to the face. Then I can change to the length that I need. This vertical line has to go a bit to the right, and this length needs to be 1200 mm. Next, I'm going to click on this wall at the corridor, and also this temporary dimension line has to measure the corridor distance. That's why I have to click and drag again the grip and place it at this wall face. Then, now you can see the length is not correct, I have to change it to 1200. Finally, I need to check out the two vertical walls below. This is the first one, and the length is 2500, which is actually correct. So I can go to the next wall, and now change to the value that I need. Everything is finished, but I'm going to push this dimension to the exterior wall and confirm that it measures 5300. Remember that the last dimension has to match. Perfect. In the second example, we are going to extend the entrance hall area by modifying the exterior walls. There are several ways to do this, and the method I will use is splitting the wall with this command, split an element. I'm going to place the cursor on the wall, and let's try to split in this intersection with the interior wall. Now, you have to make sure the wall is highlighted, or one of its tracking lines. Look that it says here exterior wall. However, if I move a bit up, now it highlights the interior wall instead. And if I click, I splitted the wrong wall. In the warning it says I cannot keep the elements joined. So click on cancel, let's try again. And now I can click here, then I press escape, select the wall, and you can see there are two exterior walls at this moment. Okay. Now let's try to move this wall downwards. They are coming both together. Why? By default, both walls are joined at this point, and I have to do an operation to allow them to separate. One of the ways is click here with the right button and then click on Disallow Join. Now with the Move command, I select this endpoint as my start point, and now I can drag the wall 1000 mm to this side. Nice, but still I have some problems here. First, you can notice the floor came together. That's alright, because this is something we will fix after. Then we have this warning: highlighted walls are attached to, but miss the highlight targets. Sometimes it's a bit hard to understand what the target is, and in this case, it's actually the roof. I can notice that if I switch to the section tool. As you can see, both wall and roof are highlighted because they don't attach to each other anymore. Let's click on detach targets, and then later I have to fix the roof. Back on the ground floor, I'm going to insert now an exterior wall. And now, I think the finish face is not on the right side. Yes, it's true. But we can fix this easily. Just switch the location line to finish face interior. Then I'm going to try again. It's not the right point. Press escape and try at this end point instead. Yes, it's here. Then click to intersect to the wall below. The walls didn't join because before I activated the option Disallow Join to the wall. When this happens, just click on this symbol to join the walls again. So, if you are interested in learning Revit from the beginning, I have a complete course in the platform Udemy, as well as another one in AutoCAD. If you join it, you will have free access forever. There aren't destruction ads, you can find DWG files and PDFs in some lectures, and I also included full exercises at the end of the course to practice your skills. So you can find the links below in the description and check out the list of contents and the preview lectures. So it's everything, see you in the next time.